Single keyword ad groups. Let's understand first of all what they are before I tell you why you should or shouldn't be using them. So single keyword ad groups, known as SKAGS, is basically a method of setting up a PPC campaign on Google that allows you to basically try and get as much exposure for your keywords as possible, making them as highly relevant as possible by making sure every keyword variation is put into its own ad group. Now, the reason you would do this is because it means you can reflect the exact keyword within your ad copy on a keyword by keyword basis. If you look at a normal PPC campaign setup where you segment your keywords into subject matter ad groups and maybe segment them into maybe 10 keywords per ad group, for example, you have the same ad copy for all of those keywords across the ad group, because of course on Google Ads the limitation is that you have to have ads attached to an ad group. By using single keyword ad groups, it means you can create an ad specific to that particular keyword, because every single keyword variation will have its own ad group. So the advantage is that you're supposed to be highly relevant. Google, of course, rewards relevancy with its quality score, and what this is trying to do is make you extremely relevant, meaning there's no room for wiggling around different keywords in different ads. You ensure that all of your keywords appear in the ad itself. So when you look at the factors that make up quality score, one of them is of course the relevancy, and if your relevancy is high, then it's likely because your keyword or variations thereof are mentioned in your ads. So SKAGS is a method of ensuring that's the case. And as you know, better quality scores mean better ad ranks. Better ad ranks mean cheaper clicks and more conversions for your campaigns. So on the face of it, it sounds like setting campaigns up using a single keyword ad group strategy is a good idea. Now, I've actually changed my mind on this over the years, and I'll tell you exactly why I think using single keyword ad group setups are not necessarily the best way to go about setting up a PPC campaign. You see, the thing is, Google have kind of made sure that it's not as valuable a strategy because of close variance. Now, if you've been in the PPC game long enough, you will understand that a few years back, maybe even 5 years back now, I've been in here for so long, I know it's a long time ago, but 5 years ago or so, Google decided to make exact match keywords not exact anymore, meaning they would allow close variance to match to your exact match searches. Then of course last year, or maybe it was even this year because the last year has been an absolute blur, very recently Google have also done the same with phrase match, meaning if somebody types in your keyword as a phrase exactly, that no longer applies. All it means is Google will use that as the first indication and then match your keyword to relevant searches regardless of that match type. Google will allow for close variance for both exact match and for phrase match, but if that wasn't enough, they also got rid of modified broad match, meaning that you could no longer stipulate specific keywords within your keyword have to appear when somebody searches, because of course modified broad match used to mean that particular terms that had the plus in front of them had to appear in your search term in order to trigger your ads. So that became a big problem. Keyword matching went crazy. Google matched your terms to more and more phrases, and your negative keyword list likely would have grown as a result. But the interesting thing is that also has a knock-on effect to a single keyword ad group setup. And let me understand and illustrate to you why that is. Say for example, I'm a tutor based in London and I provide lessons at home to pupils. I might bid on 2 keywords in my account. That could be, for example, London tutors as a phrase match keyword and tutors in London as a phrase match keyword. So these 2 keywords, if I were to put them into a single keyword ad group setup, then that means both of these keywords would be in their own ad groups, meaning the ad copy will be highly relevant to the person triggering either one of those 2 keywords. Now, old school Google Ads, that made perfect sense. Since all of this new close variant additions into the search and the way Google interprets search, what it means is that ad rank plays even more of a part. So say for example, I go to Google and I type in to trigger my own ads, tutor in London. You would think that the keyword tutor in London would be triggered, the ad will show with the exact keyword in there, increasing relevancy and making the whole single keyword ad group setup make sense. However, because of close variance, that search term could also match to London tutors, especially with phrase match with close variance as well. So, with that said, it means that my search term is eligible for 2 different types of keyword. and the discretion as to which ad will show is based on ad rank. So say for example, for argument's sake, that the keyword tutors in London, the one I typed in, has a lower ad rank than London tutors, the one that might be triggered because the ad rank is higher. That means my single keyword ad group setup is pointless. The keyword is still relevant to the ad, but it doesn't have the exact keyword in there. But it doesn't make a difference. Google are going to match your keywords to searches based on ad rank. Your keywords do battle when there's potential crossover. At any given time, potentially, your keywords can do battle. Not in an auction together, but in terms of which keyword Google decides to serve for a user's search. Because, as I mentioned, if your ad rank for one keyword that's eligible to show your ads for a user's search is higher than another one in your account, Google will be more likely to show the one with the higher ad rank. So the single keyword ad group setup becomes a lot less reliable and a lot less powerful because it doesn't make a difference to the user's search. That is really interesting. There's massive development recently. And yes, I know a lot of people here listening to this video will probably hit the thumbs down button by now, but luckily YouTube hid that button, so I don't care. So what I'm going to say to you is this, as my piece of advice for people who are really big advocates of single keyword ad group campaigns, and of course I've spoken about them before in the past as well. If you're going to use single keyword ad groups and you're a small advertiser with limited resources, don't start with a single keyword ad group or SKAG strategy. Start with segmenting into very clear, concise, intent-based and subject-based ad groups and go from there. If you're getting significant spend on a particular segment of keywords that could see value in addition to having a better ad, so in terms of pulling that keyword out into its own ad group and then creating an ad specific to that keyword to improve the overall quality score, especially when it comes to ad relevance, there's an option to do that. You can do that for pretty much any keyword you want to, and you do that after you've learned and got the data to make that change. Doing a single keyword ad group setup, unless you're a wizard with Excel or you're handy with the Google Ads editor, or you want to pay for a tool like Aori. If you don't know what Aori is, I've linked it below in the description for you to check out there. Essentially, it's a tool that allows you to build single keyword ad group campaigns at scale. But I'm no longer an advocate for them. I think if you want to use them, that's fine. You put the labor into building that campaign, but ultimately, I don't think the returns are there anymore. So whether you want to use them or not, I think a good campaign is more important than those two single factors. I think is more about specifically the ad copy you write, the quality of the content on your landing page, and of course your strategies around bidding, budgets, etc. All of those things come into it, and I think single keyword ad groups versus setting up segmented, well-segmented ad groups, there isn't much of an advantage anymore. But let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. If you're an advocate of single keyword ad groups, let me know. I'll be more than happy to argue with you down there. Thank you so much for watching that video. If you liked it, please leave a like down below. And of course, this video came from a clip from the main SEM Academy weekly show. So be sure to check that out by subscribing to the channel so you don't miss a single episode or update from the world of paid advertising.